Where do I even begin? If you know anything about me, you'll probably know that I'm a big Silent Hill fan. Silent Hill 2 being one of my favorite games of all time for its complex and deep narrative, clever use of psychological horror, and all round outstanding music done by series producer and sound designer Akira Yamaoka. So when I heard that the original director of the 2006 Silent Hill film, Christoph Gans, was returning to direct another Silent Hill film based on Silent Hill 2, I was intrigued. I enjoyed the first Silent Hill film. It's not going to win any awards, but it was still enjoyable to watch. Apart from a few lore-breaking things here and there present in the film, I recommend it to people who are interested in watching. The same can't be said for 2012 Silent Hill Revelation, but let's not get into that one. Return to Silent Hill, when actually marketed, was shown off to be a return to form after the original's release almost 20 years ago. Oh boy, were they wrong. In this video, I'll be talking about spoilers for both Silent Hill 2 and Return to Silent Hill story because it's the only way I can fully explain to you why I didn't enjoy this film. Let's get into it. The plot of Silent Hill 2 and Return to Silent Hill follows main character James Sunderland, whose wife, named Mary, dies of a mysterious illness. James struggles with the passing of Mary and eventually hits rock bottom until one day he suddenly receives a mysterious letter from Mary saying to meet her in their special place, which is in Silent Hill. From there, James must make his way through the town of Silent Hill, being tested both physically and mentally on this journey. All this eventually culminates into a grand finale of acceptance of one's actions and forgiveness. The major difference between the two of them, however, is the execution of this. I knew going into this film that there would be story changes. That's inevitable in films based on video games. However, what I wouldn't realize is that Christoph Gans and the writers of this film have no idea what makes Silent Hill 2 so special. The story in this film has been completely reworked into something that is really bad. They made Mary the daughter of Jacob Crane, an original character for the film who was the leader of the cult of Silent Hill. The cult's presence in Silent Hill 2 was merely a few newspaper clippings mentioning them and a few puzzle solutions here and there. Not a major plot point like they did in the film, and Mary certainly had nothing to do with them in the game. The cult starts poisoning Mary, and that's how she gets sick in the film. I was baffled by this choice the writers made. It's such a deviation from the source material that didn't work at all. Another major unnecessary change was that Laura and Angela were just different parts of Mary. They weren't fleshed out important characters to contrast James like they are in the game. They're just simply other parts of Mary. Eddie, oh my god, don't even get me started on Eddie. Eddie wasn't even needed in this film. He was in one scene, and that's it. All he did was see Pyramid Head, say to James, "You woke him up, Jimmy," and beat James up because James called him an asshole. After that, he was never seen from in the film again. Maria's introduction in the game is a scene I remember quite well and is really famous. And nope, the film couldn't even get that right. Rather than James going to her on the dock, she just appeared out of the fog and started talking to James, and he just took her with him. No questions asked. No mention from him about Maria looking like Mary, no flirtatious exchanges between the two of them, and no infamous scene of Maria behind the jail bars. I laughed so many times in this film at how poorly things were done, but my favorite scene to laugh at was when James and Maria were in the hospital. Maria was badly injured after being stabbed by the famous nurse enemies of Silent Hill. Maria proceeded to tell James how she looked like Mary, kissed him, and then said that they should leave the town. James got up and left the room, and Maria hobbled behind him, pleading with him to stop. James stopped in the hallway and said to Maria how she was just in his way. He then puts his hands up to his head, and the screen started shaking. Pyramid Head appeared out of nowhere and killed Maria by impaling her. I turned to my friend and immediately started laughing at this scene. Not only because it was ridiculous and made a mockery of the original source material, but also because it explicitly told you that James was Pyramid Head by showing James as the person inside Pyramid Head's helmet. This also wasn't helped by the fact that the very next scene showed James painting a big triangle over his face. You know, in case you missed the scene 2 seconds before this one showing you he was Pyramid Head. This film treats the audience like we are stupid. By spelling everything out for us, you completely negate what the original games are all about. Also, why was James an artist in this film? It felt unnecessary, and I felt like they only made him one to be able to put paintings of Mary up on the wall in the very short labyrinth scene. The actors did as well as they could given the poor script writing given to them. It felt incredibly generic, and the writing was laughable at so many points in this film. Christoph's directing was also not that memorable for me either, other than a few little scenes that I did appreciate where he recreated shots from the game. The CGI also was not great. I could easily tell what was filmed on a green screen and what wasn't. The same goes for the monsters. When done practically, they looked awesome, but when they were CGI, they looked so bad. The editing, oh, Jesus Christ, the editing was incredibly confusing. I've played these games many times, and even I was confused by some of the choices of the editing. There are a few moments where the film jumped between the other world and the normal world, which happens a lot in the games as well. But in this film, I couldn't tell if it was trying to tell me that it was happening or if it was a dream or something. It felt like the writers were confused with what they wanted to say with the film, and it ended up being on full display once it came to the editor's room. Akira Yamaoka's soundtrack was quite underwhelming for me, if I'm honest, which was really disappointing. Other than hearing 2 tracks from Silent Hill 2's outstanding soundtrack and one really beautiful rendition of The Day of Night, it was just quite generic, which sucked because Akira Yamaoka is a series staple at this point. His soundtracks really shape Silent Hill into what it is. I was really disappointed by the ending of this film. I assumed they would have done the Leave ending, but they didn't, which got me really excited. I realized very quickly, though, that they were doing the In Water ending, which, if you know anything about Silent Hill 2, is probably the most fitting ending for James. James drove straight into the water with Mary's body after receiving it from a not so great looking monster called Moth Mary, and then it lingered there on James's face for a couple of seconds. I was satisfied for the first time whilst watching this movie at this point. But nope, they pulled the rug out from me and put James back to the start of the film when he first met Mary. But this time, get this time, he knew exactly what to do and how to save Mary. I was stunned by this choice. In hindsight, though, I probably shouldn't have been, given everything else that had already happened in the film. This film did everything in its power to make James the good guy. It is incredibly black and white with its storytelling in this film, which goes against everything that is Silent Hill 2's story, where it's morally grey and really complex. Don't bother watching this film. There's not a lot I liked about it, and if you're a fan of the original Silent Hill 2 like me, you'll probably just be confused and disappointed by the unnecessary story changes. Nothing worked cohesively, and for a horror film, it wasn't all that scary either. It was a complete mockery of the original source material, and Christoph Gans clearly doesn't understand anything about Silent Hill 2's original story. I hope that in the future, if they were to make another Silent Hill film, it's an original idea set within Silent Hill, rather than an adaptation of one of the games. Those are my thoughts on Return to Silent Hill. Have you seen it? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I will see you in the next one, guys.